Welcome to Seth's Daily Podcast. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And thank you guys for subscribing. We're blessed enough to have an interview with Scott Violet. How are you doing, man?
I am doing great, sir.
Appreciate your service, man.
Oh, no problem.
Definitely, definitely, man. We wouldn't be nothing without our vets,
Yeah. Yep.
for sure, man.
Mhm.
What got you into Bigfoot research?
Well, it's kind of funny. I grew up in Eastern Oregon, in the Blue Mountains, which is kind of pretty famous for Bigfoot. There was that famous film, the Freeman film, taken from there. I actually lived 15 miles from where that video was taken, so I grew up in the area. I had the legend a whole lot. Heard about it, all that stuff, but I really didn't pay much attention, when I was a kid growing up. But later on in life, after I went into the military, got out of the military, took my GI Bill, went to college, and got a degree in anthropology. Started working with Native American tribes. That was Native American cultural anthropology is what I did. And then I started discovering that every tribe in the nation has a Bigfoot legend.
Yeah,
So that's what kind of got me into the Bigfoot stuff. And then after I retired, moved back to Eastern Oregon, I started looking into it, and then we uh, I thought it would be fun to start a Facebook page to see if I could get any reports from our area in Eastern Oregon where I lived in Baker City, Oregon, and I put that Facebook page up, and within hours I had like hundreds of reports from people around the area. They didn't have anywhere to talk, until I put that up, and then our local newspaper got a hold of it and wrote a story, and then it went on the AP Newswire, and it got picked up in LA, so our we set up a web page, and it got crashed because so many people was putting in reports. It's ridiculous. So that kind of launched my Bigfoot hunting career.
that's awesome, though, man. And
Mhm.
Oregon's a hotbed for Bigfoot.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely, man. Oregon and Washington, that's a Squatch land for sure.
Yep.
Definitely. And you also have your own podcast as well.
Yeah, we do. We have a YouTube channel. It's Squatch America on YouTube, and we do 3 shows a week on our YouTube channel. We uh, have a Monday show that I just recently started, because last and our Monday shows are is a more of a bushcraft uh, videos talking about wilderness survival and stuff. Because a lot of people in the Bigfoot world will uh, they want to go out and hunt Bigfoot and stuff, but then they're not prepared to, what happens if I get lost in the woods and stuff like that. Because last December, there was 2 men in Washington uh, on Christmas Day. Actually, the Christmas Eve, they went out Bigfoot and got caught in a snowstorm, and they both died. On Christmas Day, they got lost, and they had to send out search parties to find them, and they had froze to death. And so that kind of hit me a little hard. So I decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and start doing a bushcraft thing for Bigfooters. So we started doing that. I've been through the military survival courses and stuff. I was in the infantry in the army. So I'm taking that knowledge and kind of passing it on. And then we do a live show every Wednesday, have guests on, and then every Friday is videos of us out in the woods doing our thing, doing our Bigfoot research stuff.
Oh, yeah. Have you actually found some Bigfoot nest here recently?
We did. We found one a couple years ago. That was, I guess, the most recent one. We found one. It was in Eastern Oregon. Um, we found what to be like almost like an igloo built out of pine boughs and trees. It actually was all woven together, and it had uh, I mean, we checked every limb in this thing. It was like a big dome. It was 5 foot tall and 14 feet around. And this dome was woven together. Every tree limb in there was broken. There wasn't one that had a cut mark or anything on them. They were all snapped. In fact, one of the trees that was in this and bent over and wove into it was a 3 inch around fir tree that still had the root ball on the bottom that had been pulled out of the ground, just straight out of the ground and woven into this thing. And then it had fir boughs and stuff down in the bottom of it like a bed. And then it had an opening that was up towards the top a little bit. And so we kind of figured that this might have been like a playpen or nest that they put their babies in. And it was built early in the spring. Uh, it was on the Umatilla Indian Reservation, and that's one of the things we do with our research is since I've spent a lot of time in Native American culture stuff, uh, we are able to get into a lot of the reservation areas to do our research, which is kind of a blessing, getting in there. It's kind of hard on some of the reservations, but um, so this guy here who originally um, found it and brought it to our attention was part of the Umatilla tribe, and this was his hunting ground. And he had went there in the fall and hunted deer, and then in the springtime he went back and he was collecting mushrooms. We have a lot of morel mushrooms grow in that area, and so a lot of people go out and pick mushrooms. So he was picking mushrooms and he found this nest there, and it wasn't there in the fall and October, but it was there in the spring and April. So, when he found it, everything was still green too. All the branches and stuff were still green. They hadn't dried out yet. So, and then we found uh, a 9 inch footprint around it. So that's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome, man.
Hmm.
Definitely. And have you found like footprints in that area as well?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We found lots. I find footprints about every year somewhere. Um, but yeah, we've had footprints in that area. Just a few miles north of that area, is I actually had my sighting that I had. It's been like 6 years ago. Um, in that same area.
So what happened when you seen Bigfoot?
Uh, it was a shock to my system actually, but we had a little help, I could say, when I had my sighting. Um, we had set up that YouTube channel or YouTube, that Facebook page and our website, and we had got 5 reports in the same week from 5 different people that didn't know each other. And so we figured that, hey, that's the spot to go. So I went in there, and it was like the third night I had been there. And kind of crazy thing happened. There was a guy who his daughter was a friend of my wife, and it was his birthday, and he always wanted to go bigfooting, never been in the woods bigfooting before. And she wondered if I could take him out, and I was going out that night anyway. So I said, "Hey, yeah, all right, you know." So I had met this guy for the first time that day, and I took him into the woods. We're hiking down this trail, and then we smelt this ungodly smell, and then we stopped, started looking around in the woods, trying to figure out where this was coming from. Couldn't see anything until I probably did the dumbest thing in the world. I growled it off in the woods and in the woods, trying to provoke it a little bit, and then it growled back at me. It actually mimicked me, and then we saw this one little head down in this little opening in the trees, uh, swaying side to side. And I got my camera up and I got one photo, and then we heard this whistle and it kind of ducked down and went away. Um, but I did get a picture. I wonder if I can hold it up on my camera here. Let's see if I can get a good angle without the lights. But you can see there's a juvenile and an adult face looking at me through the trees there.
You.
So I got that photo,
Thanks
and
for sharing that, man.
yeah, and it's on our website too if you want to go check it out. It's squatchamerica.com. But so I did get that photo, and then also we found I spent like 3 days there in that area. I went back the next day and went down where they were standing, And I did everything. I took my camera, put it on a tripod where I was standing to take the picture, and we put a laser on it, shot the laser down through the trees, so I got it about where that face was, so I can figure out how tall this thing was when I went down there. And so we found 9-inch footprints with 16-inch footprints next to them. So I also got the footprints from the photo of the one I got. So I got the juvenile and the adult. We figured that from where the juvenile was, the adult was bent over looking up, so I don't know how tall it was, but the juvenile was standing up straight, and we were able to figure out he was 6 foot tall and 9-inch footprint.
Hmm. Yeah. Possibly they was giving you a warning not to come closer.
Yeah, yeah. That whistle we heard was probably a third one because it was off in the distance. So there was another one out there too. So I think it was whole family.
It's on telling how many Bigfoots was around, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, when they
yeah,
was whistling, they was definitely giving you a warning not to come closer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where to stop.
That probably
Yeah,
made the hair on your arm stand up, man.
a little bit. Yeah, yeah.
Be freaky for sure, but also exciting as well.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, we've had a few freaky encounters. We've had some loud screams in the woods one night. Uh, that was just terrifying. You know.
Yeah, but that's good evidence, though.
Hmm.
Definitely. Man.
Yeah.
And you said that Native Americans have told you stories of Bigfoot going back hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at least hundreds of years. Well, I have actually one of the things I used to do was pictographs and petroglyphs. That was kind of my thing. In the Native American culture, I learned how to read those. Learned all four. There's actually four languages in pictographs, and I learned all four. And we have found a pictograph that's in California with the story about a Bigfoot. And the thing about it is the Native Americans had put atlatls. It's kind of a spear chucking device. Um, was drawn on this picture of the Bigfoot story, and the Native Americans in that area quit using those atlatls. They switched to bows about 3,000 years ago. So that story on that rock's probably about 3,000 years old, if you go by that. And so that's probably the oldest one in that we have found that
That's
kind
crazy.
of dates something. Yeah.
That's awesome, though, man. Did you get a picture of it?
Yeah, yeah, it's a pretty famous one. It's called the Hairy Man photo in Porterville, California. And then I've found uh, two more after that in Oregon, um,
That's awesome,
Bigfoot
man.
stories. Hmm.
Kind of coexist with each other.
Hmm.
That's crazy. That's impressive, man. Definitely. That's incredible. I love hearing about the uh Bigfoot stories, man. And there's stories of like Bigfoot eating with Native Americans and everything.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a up in like Michigan and Wisconsin and Minnesota up in that area. There's a story from the Chippewa tribe, and they actually have a treaty with Bigfoot that goes back a long time. And um, the thing about the story goes with the tribal when the tribes when they tell the story there that Bigfoot told the natives not to trade with the white man when the white man showed up. And the natives said, well, we're going to trade with them. We like their blankets and their beads and stuff. So they traded with them. And Bigfoot said, if you trade with them, we're going to go to the mountains and never be seen again. Well, guess what happened? So it's kind of an interesting story that kind of ties into the way the world is today. They went to the mountains and hide. So,
Yeah, but definitely hard to find, man.
yeah.
So when there's like one there, there's probably four or five there.
Probably, we from reports that we get, um, there's several different places that people submit reports. Um, so they've all been kind of combined recently into one big map. And if you take all the numbers of reports we get and the sightings with one or two at a time, usually an adult and juveniles when you get to sightings is, and if you do all the math on it, and this is something that Dr. Jeff Meldrum from Idaho State University did. They did this study with all the sightings maps and stuff. So, I want to credit him with this. But they came up with a thought that anywhere there's a black bear, anywhere you find black bears in the United States, they guess that there for every 20 square miles, there's three Bigfoot. So you do, big 20 mile circles on the United States, everywhere there's a forest that have black bears in it, you've got that many Bigfoot.
Really, man. And I can't blame them for hanging out with each other, man, because
Yeah,
they obviously don't trust us.
no,
I can't blame them either.
I can't blame him either. Yep.
Do you think there's a connection between UFOs and Bigfoot?
You know, I get asked that question a lot, and the I can say something very, very weird. There's a place in Crater Lake, Oregon, that we have a research area that we have been researching for 4 years. It's kind of our little private hidey hole spot, and we've found a family of them. We've found 18-inch footprints, 13-inch footprints, 10-inch footprints, and 6-inch footprints. So and over the years, the little ones have got bigger, So we figured there's a mom and dad and two kids that we've been kind of tracking. We find their footprints every year up in this area. And the weird about thing is we go up there, we spend probably 3 weeks every year in this area. And every freaking year we were there, we have seen a UFO. So, but do I believe they're from another planet? No, I do not. I actually believe that I believe that they're us. Um, I think they're an older version of us. I think they're human because whenever, people submit DNA, they say it's contaminated because it looks human. Well, I think it's not contaminated. I think they're us. They're just an older version of us that hasn't went extinct yet, like a caveman. Um, because they got so many similarities to us. So I think that's what I think they are, and they're intelligent. So uh, I don't think they're from outer space. I think they're from here. They're just a different version of us.
Yeah, kind of like a Neanderthal.
Yeah. Well, you know Neanderthals are still alive. Did you know that?
Oh yeah,
We bred them out in France. Um, they're from the Acadian region of France. And when they finally got DNA from a tooth of a Neanderthal, they started comparing it to human DNA, and they found out that there's people still alive today that still has that Neanderthal DNA in it. I'm one of them. I have 5% of my DNA is Neanderthal, and that's because my family comes from the Acadian region of France. Um, and when they moved over to when they came here, in the early 1700s, and landed in Nova Scotia, Canada, those French people, they were Acadians. And then later on, they migrated down to Louisiana, and then the word Acadian became Cajun. So that's why us Cajun people are a little off because we're part caveman. So,
that's pretty cool though.
mhm.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people think Bigfoot's apes as well.
yeah, yeah. There's that theory, but I'm really leaning towards the fact that I think they're human. I think they're just an older version.
And I've heard some people say that they're connected to the paranormal.
Yeah, you get the stories. Well, I saw it vanish. I saw it, floating, stuff like that. or go through a portal. And I have actual kind of a off-kilter theory on that a little bit, you know, because I have been on, some of those ghost hunts, too, back in the day, the paranormal stuff, and I've looked into it. Um, and I've seen some freaky stuff happen in some ghost hunts that I've been on. Um, but what I think it is, I think there's a live Bigfoot and then there's ghost Bigfoot. So I think if you're seeing the paranormal like stuff, you're actually seeing ghosts, like human ghosts, but Bigfoot ghosts. That's kind of a theory I'm leaning towards right now.
That's not a bad theory, man, because you see people see ghost dogs and ghost cats all the time.
Yeah.
It's not a
And if
bad
they're
theory.
human, yeah, if they're human, they're probably ghost Bigfoot too.
That's the first time I've heard that though.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm possibility for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. I like that theory though. I've never heard that before.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. What's your favorite location to investigate, man?
Well, like I said, we've got our place near Crater Lake, Oregon is one of my favorite spots. Um, that's one of the hot spots that I've been to. Actually, there's another one in Maine that we have run across that has quite a few sightings and stuff near Mount Katahdin in Maine. Um, that's another place we've spent a couple of years, up in that area. In fact, we're going back this summer to check that area out. Um, so the forests in Oregon and in Maine are pretty similar. I mean, we got a little bit bigger trees in Oregon, but they got more trees in Maine. So,
Yeah, both places are beautiful though.
mhm.
Definitely. So there's a lot of activity up in Maine too.
There is. Yep. Uh, yeah, about everywhere there's forest. I mean, we usually we live full time in RV and travel, so um, we like doing some investigations. We're down in Texas right now. Uh, and so there's Bigfoot sightings in Texas. There's what they call the Big Thicket area. They have a lot Bigfoot reports there. The Sam Houston Forest, there's another one. It's right next to, Arkansas. It's on the border there, in the upper right-hand corner of Texas, or around Falk, Arkansas, and Louisiana, and the swamps they got the swamp ape, they call them down there. So, uh, so we spend a lot of time in the wintertime in Texas because it's nicer than spending the winter in, North Dakota. So,
I want to go Florida, man, for the winter.
yeah. Well, Texas ain't bad. Most of the time, it's like 10 degrees today, though. It's weird.
Getting any
They're having,
snow?
it did snow like 2 days ago, just a little skiff, and then it was gone. But it did snow in Texas.
Yeah. Florida's another hot spot.
Oh yeah, yeah. They have the famous swamp apes there. That's where they come from.
Have you investigated Florida?
I have not. That's one of the places I want to get to. I've got some friends that are part of a research group down there. I want to go hang out with them and do some research. I don't know when we're going to get there, but we're trying. Uh, I get sidetracked a lot because we're asked to speak at a lot of Bigfoot festivals all over the country. Uh, we're kind of trying to cut down on those. We did like 14 in a row last year, uh, but so we've only got one scheduled right now. Um, we're headed in May. When is it? May 9th and 10th and 11th, I think it is. Okay, yeah, May 9th and 10th and 11th in Appleton, Wisconsin. We're going to be there doing a Bigfoot talk, and That's going to be a lot of fun. But so we're going to get to go to Wisconsin, and after that, we're headed to Maine.
That's awesome, man. Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of sightings all around the country, man. Have you ever been to Kentucky?
I've been, I haven't done any Bigfoot research there. I've been to Kentucky, but I haven't been any research. I would like to. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's where I live, man. We got a lot of Bigfoot sightings here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at my app here.
No, you're
I,
good, man.
no, I have an app that shows me where all the Bigfoot are in every state.
Oh,
All
that's
this.
awesome, man. Oh,
Oh,
you're looking up for Kentucky.
yeah. 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 So what town are you in?
Uh, Hyman.
I,
It's a little bit small town.
let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a small town.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we've had a few Bigfoot sightings. We have a lake here. We've had some UFOs like coming out of the lake, been seen coming out of the lake and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had Bigfoot sightings when people were kayaking on the side of the cliff and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, which anywhere you have a body of water, that's Squatch land.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know. You can't really say it real well, but oh, I just moved it. All the all these dots on the screen there, that's
yeah,
all in Kentucky. That's all sightings in Kentucky.
that's a lot, man. Any in my
Yeah.
county or not?
Yeah. No. There's a lot in a Bowling Green. I don't know what big town you're close to.
Pikeville,
What's that?
Pikeville.
I don't know where that one's at either. So
uh,
east, west, north, south Kentucky. Which way are we going?
East, man.
East. East
Yeah,
Kentucky.
yeah, man. We're in the Appalachian Mountains, so we get
Oh,
a lot of
okay. There you
sightings
go.
here.
Yeah, gotcha.
We get all kinds of sightings of Bigfoot and stuff.
Yep.
Bunch of UFO sightings too, man.
Yeah, there's some recent ones, like 2004 in that area. Yep. So just looking. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
most
definitely.
recent one's 2004. And that's near a town called London.
Oh yeah, I heard one back in about 2020, but it
Mhm.
was from a researcher that was local. Told me about the lake sighting that I was telling you about, kind of.
Yep.
They was kayaking, seen the Bigfoot on the side of a cliff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me, man, because this is like perfect location for
Oh, it is. Yeah.
it is. The Appalachian Mountain in general is,
Hmm.
yeah. And we got a lake here, so yeah,
Hmm.
right here in my county, man. So it's on telling how many Bigfoot we got around.
Yeah.
I've heard some weird whistling sounds before, like how you were saying.
Really?
Yep.
Did you get
Just
them recorded?
no, I was just randomly outside, man.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't even doing anything. I was just outside.
Yeah.
I wasn't even Bigfoot hunting. I just heard it randomly.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. We hear a lot of those whistles and some of the ones that we've got recorded, um, when you put them into like an audio spectrograph, you find out those whistles aren't whistles through like we whistle through our teeth or our lips. These are whistles from their throat. They can make a whistling sound.
Wow.
Um, so when you put it in a spectrograph, you can tell. Um, like it's how many octaves it is. Humans can only do like three, but these are always in like five. So you can tell the difference between a human and the Bigfoot ones too. So,
That's awesome, man. That's very cool.
mhm.
I hear them whistlings are pretty common.
Yep, it's probably the most common. Whistling and tree knocks.
Yeah, and it's a warning not to come closer.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
funny
In
thing
fact,
is, oh my bad, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, yeah, according to Native American legends, and I've talked to a lot of Native American people, they say when they tree knock, that means you stop where you're at and turn around and go away. That's what that means. So
And they
it's
would
kind of,
know.
yeah, and they would know. Yeah, so it's kind of funny when you see these TV shows, these guys out in the woods with baseball bats knocking on trees, is like you're challenging them. Yeah, you
Not
probably
very
not want.
smart.
Yeah, you probably don't want to do that. You don't want to
Nah.
piss off the 8 foot tall gorilla, man.
Definitely not, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have the guts to do that.
Yeah.
Actually, the funny thing is, it was actually towards a creek that I heard it.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah,
For sure.
that's pretty common. Like when we're out doing research, we try really hard to follow creeks and rivers, and because that's where you get most of the sightings. That's where you're gonna find the footprints too, is like down by the banks of the creeks.
That's where the fish are.
Yep.
Just like a bear, they like to eat fish as well and stay
Hmm.
close to the water.
Yep.
Well, heck, humans hundreds of years ago lived close to the water.
Yep.
We still do.
Yeah, we still do. Yeah.
We still do.
Yep.
So I definitely can't blame them for staying close to the water, man.
Hmm.
Got you some fish.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. Well, Scott, I appreciate you being on, brother. Tell the people about your show, and you can send me the description for your YouTube channel. I'll put it in the description.
Okay. Yeah.
You can send me a link for your YouTube channel, and I'll put it in the description.
Okay. Can do.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and tell people about your show, brother.
Yeah, all right. We're Squatch America on YouTube. And if you want to follow us on our adventures across the United States, doing Bigfoot research, we're gonna, uh, you can follow us at Squatch America on YouTube. And we do 3 shows a week. And we do a live one every Wednesday where you can come on and chat with us.
That's awesome, man. So you do a live show on YouTube. That's what's up.
Yep.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you're doing the survival stuff too, man.
Oh, yeah. I am too. Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, and we have another thing we do too. I'm going to throw that out there is we have a we're part of a veterans group called the Fallen Outdoors, and what it is we take veterans out hunting and fishing, camping, and we do Bigfoot research trips with veterans um, to get them out in the woods, get them in a group of veterans, so we can like you know have a little camaraderie with each other, and to cut down on the fact that 22 veterans a day take their lives. So we're trying to combat that a little bit.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Definitely appreciate you being on, Scott.
Oh, no problem. Enjoyed it.
Well, thanks, Scott, for being on. Everybody have a good night and God bless.